In this example, we want to find an equation for the hyperbola described, graph the equation, and this particular hyperbola will have a center at 0, 0, a focus at 7, 0, and a vertex at 1, 0. So the first thing I like to do is to figure out the orientation. So I'm going to draw a little sketch of the information that I've been given. So I was given that I have a center at 0, 0, and a focus at 7, 0, and a vertex at 1, 0. So I can see that these 3 points are lining up horizontally, so I know that I'm going to have a horizontal transverse axis. That transverse axis does contain the important points of the center, the vertex, and the focus. So I know that the basic equation that I'm going to use is this one here. In order to fill that equation, I need to know the h and k. The h and k, h comma k is the center of the circle. I also need to know a and b. So a is the distance between the center and the vertex. So I already have some of this information. I was given the center, so I know that center is the HK, and the distance between the center and the vertex is 1 unit, so I know that A is equal to 1. I don't know the value of B. We weren't given that information, enough information to figure that out. But I do have enough information to figure out C. C is the distance between the center and the focus. So I've got my focus right here, and the distance between that center and the focus is 7 units. So I know that C is equal to 7. So because I know C and I know A, I can solve for that missing value of B that I don't have. So let's solve that equation. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 1 squared plus B squared equals 7 squared. So I have 1 plus B squared equals 49. I'll subtract 1 and get B squared is equal to 48. And if I square root both sides, I have B equaling the square root of 48. We can simplify this as well to get, I think 48 is 16 times 3, so we can write this as 4 square root of 3. So now that I know H, K, A, and B, I can write out the equation. And that's the first part of this problem, is finding the equation that has these properties. So I'm using the equation x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. We have x minus 0 squared over 1 squared minus y minus 0 squared over square root of 48 squared. And if we simplify, this will give us x squared over 1 minus y squared over 48, because the square root and the square cancel each other out. And we don't typically write divided by 1, so really we would write this as x squared minus y squared over 48 equals 1. So I've got the equation of that hyperbola, and it wanted me to graph it. I was writing down some of the details right here, but let's get a clear picture of our graph. I've got a blank grid here for us to fill out. And I'm going to go ahead and draw that graph out. So this is stuff we were given. We were given the center, and we were given a focus of 7. We were given a vertex at 1, 0. And because of the symmetry of the hyperbola, we'll have a mirror image on the other side. So I'll have another vertex at -1, 0. And I'll have another focus at -7, 0. And then if you'll remember, the asymptotes are going to pass through the center, and they're going to have a slope of b over a, actually plus and minus b over a. So we saw that b was the square root of 48 and a was 1. So let me approximate square root of 48. I'm just going to punch that in my calculator real quick. Square root of 48 is almost 7. So we're going to say this is almost 7, plus and minus 7. So I'm going to go up 7 and down 7. And this is going to give me my rise over run. So I rise almost 7, run 1, fall -7 and 1. This is going to give me my asymptotes for the graph. And those asymptotes tell me how wide to draw. So I'm going to start from these vertices and go straight towards following those asymptotes. So this hyperbola is very wide. So we have a sketch of our parabola there. Excuse me, I said parabola. It's a hyperbola. Thank you for checking out my videos. Have a great day.